Hey everybody, welcome to the Novice Income channel. Email marketing is one of the most cost-effective and successful marketing options a company can use. It is also easy to organize and manage. Yet some companies using email do not experience good outcomes. They complain of a limited response rate or numerous undeliverable messages that require extensive updates to the mailing list. Business emails are usually sent to build customer support and trust, as well as to promote products and services. With these goals in mind, you need to avoid the following pitfalls when orchestrating an email marketing campaign. Number 1. The mailing list is full of errors. Buy or rent mailing lists from reputable companies. When you get email lists from unknown or unscrupulous sources, you will probably have problems. People's names may be misspelled, which recipients will not appreciate. Some of the recipient addresses could be wrong, sending those messages to a spam file or the electronic trash bin. The lists may include the names of people who have opted out from receiving emails like yours. When processing all the bounced emails and the other problems that you are aware of, you'll find that cheaper, unsubstantiated lists are not worth the trouble. Number 2. The email list needs to be updated. Old lists that have been unchanged for years likely contain unusable names. Some people have died, others have moved from one company to another, or companies have gone out of business or changed their names. Some recipients may have new and different email addresses. If you have compiled the list, check your information sources for accuracy. Make sure the names and email addresses are recent and correct. When in doubt, look up the organization online. Find the right person in the company who should receive your email message. Sending it to the wrong person means that there is little chance it will be forwarded to the right individual. Perform due diligence to get an updated, accurate email list. If an unintended recipient happens to get the message and contacts you to complain as well as opt out, apologize politely. Also, promptly process the request. Number 3. The timing could be better. In the business world, timing is everything. For regular phone calls and internal communication, the recommended premier time to approach your supervisor is on Tuesday afternoon, right after lunch. However, that might not be the best time to deliver your email. In fact, many busy administrators read and respond to email at the start of each workday. Others go through their email midday or at the end of the workday. In general, avoid releasing your email messages on Monday mornings or Friday afternoons, when many employees are their busiest. Visit the websites of some companies online for an idea of their work schedule and peak hours of operation. Arrange for your email to be delivered during a less intense day or time. Think about when you are likeliest to read your email and act if warranted. Keep that in mind when planning your campaign. Number 4. The subject line needs work. Let's face it, an email's subject line is probably the first thing you read in most messages, unless you're expecting an important one from someone you know. A subject line or reference phrase that simply says "urgent" is not very motivational in getting the recipient to read it. In fact, it sounds suspiciously spam-like and may be trashed instead. Structure the subject line with crisp terms to grab the reader's attention, including concrete nouns and action verbs. Keep the attention line short and related to the topic. It can be structured as a question or an exclamation if suited to the topic. Most reference lines are brief with a handful of words. Use language that will captivate the recipient with stated or implied second person, i.e. you and your. For example, a reader might open the email with a subject line that reads thus: "Are your office supplies too expensive?" Or, "Are you paying too much for office supplies?" Do not use all capital letters, excessive punctuation, or any, really, or emoticons in the reference line. Write a natural-sounding, if compelling, statement or phrase. Number 5. The message lacks focus and clarity. Below the subject line, you can add a greeting that meshes with the tone of your message. If you've done business with the company or person before, you might address them by their first name. If not, use the proper title and surname. Instead of a greeting, some email list messages start with a question or a lead-in statement. It might include a brief introduction of you and your reason for writing, but keep the focus on the reader rather than yourself. Organize the message into 3 or 4 paragraphs. The first is to address the recipient. The second will indicate the purpose of the message. The third part explains the details, and the fourth and final paragraph closes the message with a call to action. Depending on the type of message, the last paragraph might be a simple statement of appreciation for past transactions and a positive look to future business dealings. Be specific from the beginning about your reason for the email. Explain what you hope to accomplish and the reader's role. The sooner the readers know why the email was sent, the better they can thoughtfully consider the message and respond in a meaningful way. Number 6. The tone is off. A business email that is too casual or understated will be immediately disregarded. A joking tone or one that sounds a warning note is likely to be deleted. Your email tone should be upbeat and positive. Avoid negative words and use neutral words when necessary. For example, instead of saying that you cannot make the scheduled delivery on time, let the reader infer that by indicating a change of delivery date to when the package will arrive. This is by no means a deceptive ploy. It represents a forward-looking mindset and a positive tone to explain how a potential problem is being efficiently handled. A callous tone, or a critical attitude, even toward competitors, does not impress recipients. They have enough workday stress to manage without your message adding more. Emphasize the ways in which your company can meet the needs of the recipients by providing faster, better, or cheaper products. Apply a supportive tone in the message to reassure the reader that you are eager to make their job a little easier. Number 7. The design is unprofessional. You might assume that all email styles are the same and merely functional, but there are different types of email designs based in part on the email service and program. Visually inspect your email format to ensure it is crisp and clear. The font should be the proper size for easy reading without curlicue letters or elements. Add bold subheadings to break up and organize a complex or detailed topic. Avoid trying to center some of the headings or information in the message, as the receiving email platform may unintentionally skew the presentation of this information when downloaded. Don't use complicated charts and graphs in the body of the email, which may be difficult for readers to clearly see. Instead, attach support materials as separate documents to facilitate transmission and readability. Don't use multicolored fonts or varying sizes and formats except to differentiate critical information. For example, a document that has been redlined when edited might show the redline changes for the recipient to note. Use a professional signature and byline in the message. That is often the way that recipients will get to know you and consider doing business with your company. Number 8. The return response prompt is unclear. When requesting that recipients respond by a certain date, be sure that the directions are clear and easy to follow. Indicate the preferred response mode, such as return email or a phone call. Include a deadline if there is one. If you want the recipients to complete a form, make sure it is attached and labeled specifically if there are other attachments. State who should receive the return response unless a name or department is given on the form. A common factor in a lack of response from recipients is because the call to action is unclear or inadequately explained. Number 9. It sounds insincere. You have probably received dozens of inauthentic or spam-type emails that you ignored and sent to the trash bin. Make sure yours does not sound like those. It's easy to be insincere. All you have to do is gush about your product, pretend the recipient is a close friend or honored associate, and fail to acknowledge anything of specific interest to the reader. Instead, infuse your email message with sincerity. This comes from a genuine interest in helping to improve your readers' lives in some way. Maybe you truly believe in the product you're selling. Or it could be that you want this email message to be the last one the recipients will read because you have the answer to their problem. Don't use hyperbole or exaggerated claims. Avoid euphemisms and affectionate phrases like "dear friend" to someone you don't know. Use a down-to-earth style of writing that sounds genuine and relatable. Readers like to get to know the person they might be doing business with. Number 10. Your message fails to effectively target the audience. Although an email list is generic in nature, you can look over the company names and locations for an idea of their interests. If the message is going to a specific department like human resources, give some thought to things the recipient might find worthwhile or appealing. You can also consider the challenges of that job as well as the highlights that attract people to that position. Use information like that to arrange our message in a way that will make sense and capture the reader's attention. Remember that everyone is busy, with little time or interest in unsolicited emails. But a carefully crafted message can convey a degree of understanding about the recipient's perspective and professional interests. That approach, as presented in the subject line and diffused throughout the message, could motivate people to read and respond as you hope. Number 11. It does not establish your brand in an appealing way. All your communications should contribute to establishing your business brand in subtle but relevant ways. Rather than tagging on a title and random slogan to your email signature, add a catchy byline or motivational saying that will end your message on a positive note. Your brand can be reinforced by alluding to your vision and goals. You can explain why you're sending this message to the recipient and what you hope the outcome will be. Take advantage of every message you send via email or print materials to remind people of who you are and what you want, in a good way that is mutually beneficial. Many people use emails as a quick means of communication without giving them much thought. But when you use email to build your business, maximize your influence by working with each element in the message to ensure it is accurate, timely, and well received. If you need extra help with this, make sure to check out the resource we've provided below. And be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more awesome videos. See you in the next one. Take care.